Hello, this is going to be a shorter video. I've actually kind of talked a little bit about what I like painting, what I don't like painting. If there is anything artwork wise that I have personally painted, it will be up on the screen, and editor me will figure that out when he's editing later. So, we are going to start with the first thing I ever started painting, Space Marines. Now, I have multiple Space Marine chapters. I have my Ultramarines, I have my homebrew. Death Watch counts, but Death Watch is down here. I made sure Death Watch is down here by itself. So Space Marines, got to get them done. Honestly, there are parts that are really, 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 really fun to paint. And there are parts that are kind of like, okay, I just got to do a bunch of detailing work. I've done a lot of stuff. My homebrew stuff is Space Marines, but it's Horus Heresy style. So there's some difference, not a crazy huge amount of difference. But as I've gone through this whole hobby for a little over a year now, I really do enjoy painting my Space Marines. I mean, the first 70 minis I painted was Space Marines back to back to back to back. So I did quite a bit of Space Marines there in the very beginning of what was that? I started painting October ish. I had them back in August of last year, but once I started painting and started from the first mini, which I keep on my desk for live streams, I continuously saw myself get better. Now we will go on to what I painted next. Tyranids. They'll be painted last. I've still got a pile of these things that are half painted, half primed. I was gonna paint them, and then I'm like, you know what? Painting these kind of sucks. I know I got my big Nid painted, and when I got my Norm Emissary done, I was like, fuck yeah, this is fun. But then I started just trying to knock out all of the little stuff, and I was just like, you know what? I want to be done painting for the day. So I I like the minis. I like big monster minis. Painting the Horde is not very fun. And we'll go to one that is for sure going to be in the fun to paint zone. That is Necrons. I love painting my Necron minis. I've just had so much fun trying to come up with like the class system of okay, this is a overlord, so he's gonna look super shiny, all the way down to the warriors being full of rust because they're just the lowest of the low. And I haven't gotten to do any of the big minis yet, like the Scorpex, not Destroyer. What is it? The Scorpex Lord and the Destroyers, the guys on like three legs with the sword arm things. You'll see them in pictures. You'll see what I'm talking about. I haven't got to paint them up yet, and we will go ahead and go to let's. I'm going to quickly point out ones that I do not have minis for, because a couple of these I do not have. I do not have any of these. I do not have any of these. I have these on the list because I plan on getting some. I don't have any of those. Oh, Imperial Agents. I technically have Death Watch, but Death Watch is right here, so it's its own thing. Dark Angels, don't have any of those. I do have a Black Templar, but I have not painted him yet. It's the Emperor's Champion mini. I really do love that mini. And Gene Stealers, I'm going to get for sure. So I know that clears up a lot of the list, but basically, I'm not going to comment on something that I don't have. And I knew for sure I had all these, and I knew I was going to get Death Guard. Might be the only one I don't actually get. I'll get some Thousand Sons eventually. I will actually. I do have one of the Inquisitors. It was free for Warhammer Plus subscriptions. I do not have him painted, so that Dark Angels. I'm gonna get the Lion at some point. I want to do those, and I've already talked about that. And Gene Stealer. So the rest of these I do have. Next, my personal favorite chapter, World Eaters. Now, I kind of want, if it wasn't for the fact that they are my favorite, they would be down here. Not gonna lie, they're a chore to paint, but basing colors really matters. Honestly, now that I have a better airbrush, I literally might just get my airbrush, get some red paint. I forget the paint color I use on those minis. And once I figure it out, get my airbrush, base paint them black, and then airbrush the shit out of them. Airbrush them all red. Because that is the biggest killer of time. If you can airbrush your minis red, It's so nice. Then you can just go back and carefully do all the trim, and then go back and do the black spots and the joints and stuff. And it's going to take a lot of practice for me to learn how to do the airbrushing properly for that. But I love them. I've got Angron. I'm going to paint him up on the 18th of November. Look forward to that live stream because it's going to be pretty hectic. At least it is to me. So we'll go from my favorite chapter to what a lot of people don't like. Tau. I don't know why people don't like them. I like the Tau. I like my Shooty army. They're super fun to paint. Now, I've mostly painted big stuff. It might change when I get down to painting a bunch of Pathfinders and stuff, but like Commander Farsight, I had so much fun painting him. Doing the panel line work on him was super fun. Doing the blue glow in certain areas. The Riptide Battlesuit was something that I put off for almost 8 months. And then once I started painting him, I just had so much fun. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm so excited. And he just kept turning out better and better. And then I used oil paints for the first time on him. I would not recommend doing that. I would recommend using your regular paints for panel lining. Just water them down a bunch. Honestly, it's the best idea that I would tell you to do. And then you can get that glow in certain panels, like on the, like I did on the what are the jet packs that they have. I added some glow, and on the shield for Farsight, he has some glow on it, and I also believe the Riptide has some glow on it. So very fun minis to paint for battle suits. Don't know about the line infantry yet. Yet is the key word because I plan on building some in the near future. We'll go to something else that I will say is very fun to paint. It's the Death Watch. The Death Watch is so much fun to paint. When you base paint something black, 90% of the job is done. You just gotta paint their left arm silver, paint the pauldron, and it's not hard. It's super fun. It's super like use some imagination. Not only that, but you can use Death Watch to kit bash stuff. I've kit bashed I've kit bashed jet bikes for my Death Watch. So I have editor me put these up on screen. I literally have them sitting right next to me. I have a Lamentor with a Thunder Hammer, a White Scar with a Power Sword, and a Raven Wing Death Angel. That's not what they're called. Dark Angel. I have from the Raven Wing squad. All these I've kit bashed. I had to figure out how to make the arms work because it's a push to fit mini and they're all on hover bikes, which was so much fun kit bashing. Honestly, I streamed it and I was just having a good time. I was having so much fun kit bashing these things. These things turned out amazing. My Corvus Blackstar, I took 6 hours to paint it on stream. And those hazard stripes are only there because Stream Chat would not let me airbrush them black again. They were gonna throw a riot. It was only like 5 guys, but still, they were gonna come mug me and take my Corvus Blackstar away. But it was just, I didn't like them, and they said keep them. And you know what? I submitted to my own audience and decided to keep them. I'm looking at it physically right now as I'm recording this, and it adds some charm. The yellow adds some color, and the black lines, while not perfect, do add some look of freehand, even though I did not freehand them. Next, orcs. I'll put them in the middle. So I've only painted a handful of orcs. A War Boss, which is white and rust color effect. Oh my goodness, fantastic looking. Looks great. So I'll put them in, get them done. I know orcs can be super fun because there is no wrong way to paint an orc. We even painted orcs with the army speed paint markers. We call him an orc from World of Warcraft. He's a World of Warcraft orc inside 40k. So we're profiling orc races from where they're from. And I mean, it still looks good. Actually, one of those markers I consistently use for my leather work because it looks so good. Leagues of Votann. I will say in this right now, it's in the paint it last category. just because I've only ever painted one, and I wasn't super confident with how he turned out initially. I threw him up on Reddit and said, "Hey, look, there's something I'm missing. Can somebody please give me a heads up?" And they said, "Hit it with a wash. It'll look a lot better than you think." And they were right. But I will put paint it last, and then we go to Astral Ash. We go to Imperial Guard, Astral Militarum, whatever the fuck it is. I don't call it Astral Militarum. Sadly, it does go into here, and it's only for one fucking thing. It is for those horses that came in the box. Everything else I love doing. One of my best big minis is the artillery piece. I loved painting that thing. I painted it up on stream and so much. But those horses, I'm so nervous on painting. I literally started painting a horse 3 days ago on stream and I said, nope, we're going to go back to Deathwatch because I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. The horse legs turning into claws and stuff. It sketches me out for some reason. And I hope that this gets moved up as I get into adding more vehicles. I plan on getting the Krieg box that comes out this winter for Christmas. Hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on it. Not at GW prices, but hopefully I will. So they're going to stay right there for now. I know it's heretical to put them there and not have the World Eaters there. Me talking about how much of a pain the World Eaters are to kind of paint, but I'm pretty confident on this list. I'm pretty sure these will also go there. Black Templars will probably go somewhere in the mid range because they're base paint black, but I don't own any yet except for the Black Templar. I do own one. I just got to actually take care. I just got to do it. The Dark Angel, I don't own any. Like I said, technically Deathwatch is in Imperial Agents, but we're keeping it its own thing. And I do have one Inquisitor that I'm looking forward to painting, but he's just not base painted yet. So this is kind of my standing on everything that I know I'm getting. I know I'm missing some codexes. Trust me, it's perfectly fine. The more I paint, so probably in another year, we'll go back and look at this and see if I still agree with everything. And if you're going to tell me Thousand Suns is going to be, why did I get these? I'm going to tell you you're wrong because I'm going to base paint them green and then do yellow highlights. So yeah, that makes them a lot easier. Although there's a lot of blue and stuff that I've seen a lot of people do. So I'm not going to speed into these other ones because I've still got a handful of Astra Militarum to do. I have a 20 infantry, 10 horses, 1 leader, and an artillery piece. I have a horde of these. Actually, honestly, these will go down here. I'll flip these. This is my official ranking because these are... I will paint these last, and it's why did I get so many fucking Termagants? That's really what this is. This is only for this right here. It's just why did I get so many Termagants, pretty much. So these are my final rankings for how everything's painting. I love doing my Deathwatch. Not only that, but I do take chat's consideration on Pauldrons. So in the Discord that I have, which will be linked down in the description, there is a tab for recommendations for chapters to use for my Deathwatch army. So I will have to figure out how to do the logos and everything for them, but that is kind of a way that you guys can influence my army a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and Editor and me will have so much fun cutting up this video and doing all of the artwork photos. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.